Hello friends, it's Kyle from Wyze. Did you know that the deadbolt door lock was invented on the same day as the mother-in-law? Coincidence? I don't know, maybe. But since that day, the deadbolt door lock has pretty much been unchanged until today.
Knock knock, that's the future knocking, and he's delivering the all-new Wyze Palm Lock.
Contactless secure entry with the palm of your hand. Today we're gonna unbox Wyze Palm Lock and show you how it works. That's an A+ presentation right there. Here we have the outside portion of the lock with the keypad and palm sensor, and this is the inside portion. Lifting this part out, it's the quick start guide, extra big quick start guide, an installation guide, and then you're gonna find various pieces of hardware. The deadbolt, strike plate, dust box, all of the screws and mounting hardware, a uniquely cut pair of Wyze keys, a removable and rechargeable lithium-ion battery, and a backup reserve lithium-ion battery. And I'll explain more about this piece as well. Okay, now let's go over some of the awesome features of the all-new Wyze Palm Lock. First of all, this is a contactless deadbolt lock. So you don't even have to touch it in order to get it to unlock. Wyze Palm Lock uses a highly secure biometric technology that identifies the unique pattern of veins beneath your palm. It's fast and even more reliable than fingerprints. Now that's the first and most impressive way to unlock this new lock, but there are actually six total ways to use Wyze Palm Lock. First is with your palm. Second is the numbered keypad with access codes. The third way to unlock this lock is with the Wyze app. Next, you can also unlock it using your favorite voice assistant. The fifth way to unlock this lock is with that unique set of Wyze keys. And the sixth and final way is manually from the inside. And that's not all, folks. This Palm Lock has a dual battery system, and it's a pretty big deal. The main battery will give you up to 6 months of battery life on a single charge. In the event that this long-lasting battery has run out of batteries on you, there is a secondary backup battery that will keep things running with your lock for up to 2 weeks. And if you happen to be the laziest person in the world, you're gonna find an emergency USB-C power port. Now this will allow you to connect a power bank to give your lock a temporary charge. And if all else fails, remember, you still got a set of keys. We've also integrated a smart battery saver system into this lock. Wyze Palm Lock is equipped with millimeter wave radar. Yes, the same radar that's used in self-driving cars. It scans for the presence of a person, not just movement, and wakes up the lock only when it detects that a person is present. Now, this technology is huge because without it, it would scan for any sort of movement and wake it up for any little thing like a waving branch or a bug that flies by. But because it only wakes up for the presence of a person, it saves you a ton on battery life. This lock also has auto lock technology. A built-in gyroscope detects the angle and the movement of the door and tells you whether the door has been left open and will signal a little chirping alarm, and it'll let you know exactly when the door has been closed. Once it senses the door has closed, it automatically locks, preventing jammed or false locks. Now this is our third Wyze lock, and it comes with some familiar features from the other locks that users love, like the Anti-Peep technology. That allows you to enter extra digits at the beginning or the end of your code before you hit the unlock button. That way, any prying eyes that might be looking will be really confused because you can throw out whatever numbers you want, just as long as you put in that 4-digit code in the middle somewhere, the lock will still unlock. And of course, Wyze Palm Lock works seamlessly with Wyze Video doorbells. Before, you had to maybe leave the live view of your Wyze Video doorbell to go and unlock the lock for a visitor. But with this integration, you simply tap that lock icon from the live stream view and you can watch your guest come and go without ever leaving the live stream. Now, this lock doesn't only look pretty, it is tough. It's IP53 weather resistant and is backed by the Builders Hardware Manufacturers Association. That's just a long way of saying that this lock has been twisted, slammed, and splashed thousands of times. It meets rigorous standards for security, durability, and functionality. You can control and monitor the lock status from anywhere in the Wyze app. You can also customize the notifications that you receive from your lock. in the Wyze app. And for the first time ever, the Wyze Palm Lock allows you to change the Wi-Fi without having to reset up the device. This is a new feature and it is debuting on the Wyze Palm Lock. Now I can already imagine the comments, but Kyle, what if the Wi-Fi goes down or the power goes out? This has a feature called Lock After Hours. Unlike Wyze automations that you can customize to have it operate on a certain schedule, this is a purely locally running rule. This means that just as long as the lock itself is running and has power, the lock will automatically lock at a certain time of night. Wyze Palm Lock also speaks up and sounds an alarm if it detects excessive login attempts. Now, let's install Wyze Palm Lock on this handy dandy little mini door that I just happen to have sitting right here. How cool is this thing? Simply download the Wyze app from your favorite app store, add a device in the Wyze app by clicking the plus sign in the upper right hand corner, add device, then we're going to go to home and we're gonna find Wyze Palm Lock. Now, this section of the app is also going to walk you step by step through how to install. So I'm going to use those instructions in the app to install the lock right here on our mini door. If you have a lock on your door currently, you're going to want to remove that lock and the existing deadbolt. Next, you're going to want to verify that the hole for your door matches the size of the lock. So all you need to do is put this guide over the hole and over the edge of the door like so. So mine fits on this line right here. So we are good to go. So after you've mounted your strike plate and the dust box, if you choose, you're going to put in the new deadbolt. Next, we're going to place the exterior assembly. So the first thing we're gonna do is slide the wires underneath the deadbolt and pull it through to the other side. We're gonna place this flat metal piece through the deadbolt center hole. So this is what it will look like from the inside. Next, we're going to position the interior mounting plate. And we're going to thread the cable through this rectangular hole right here. Next, we're gonna secure the mounting plate to the exterior part of the lock using the 2 long screws included in your mounting hardware. Note that there are 2 sets of longer screws, but you just need to use the set that fits the thickness of your door. Next, we're going to install the interior assembly, but first we need to remove the cover by simply pinching on the sides and sliding up. Now we need to connect this wire to the inside of the interior assembly. So you're gonna slide the cable into this little slot right here. Now that that wire's connected, just slide the assembly onto the mounting plate and finish mounting it by inserting a screw here, here, and here. And in your mounting hardware, you will also find this little rubber stopper. Place that over the screw that you just put in on the bottom. Next, we're gonna test to make sure that we did everything right. We're gonna open up our door here. We're gonna twist the interior assembly to make sure that the deadbolt pops out. And if we did everything right, it should pop right out. Now, before we replace the cover on the interior assembly, we're going to install the batteries. The first battery that we're going to install is the backup battery, and you install this one right here in this vertical slot. Next, we're going to install the main battery with the contact points facing down. You still need to connect your lock to Wi-Fi, and to do that, you're going to hold down this reset button right here for at least 8 seconds.
Device reset in progress.
And after a few short moments, we're gonna hear ready to connect.
Ready to connect.
Then we're gonna check that box and hit next. And then the app will search for the lock via Bluetooth. And after it finds it, it will set it up really quick. And then it will ask for your Wi-Fi information. Now we're gonna give our lock a name. Now you've successfully added your lock to the Wyze app. And now you may replace the cover on the interior assembly. Now we just have a few more steps to calibrate the lock. And in order to test it, we are going to close and manually lock the door. Then we're gonna check the box that says, I have turned the thumb latch, and it will take just a few minutes to calibrate. Now what it's doing is it's recognizing what its closed position feels like, and then you'll get a prompt to open the door so that it can recognize what the lock feels like when the door is open. Now open the door at the widest angle possible, and it's going to calibrate the lock one more time to recognize that position. Now close the door and hit next.
Door calibration successful.
The next thing it's going to ask you to do is to create your custom access code. Now you create your custom access code by typing in 4 digits into the app. So this will be my personal one. So now we have our access code set up, and the next step is gonna be to set up our palm. I mean, this is the whole reason why you got this lock in the first place, right? So you're gonna tap Add My Palm Print. Choose which palm you would like to add. First, we're gonna add the right palm. Okay, here we go.
Hold your palm 3 to 7 inches in front of the lock screen. Palm scan successful.
Now let's do the left palm.
Hold your palm 3 to 7 inches in front of the lock screen. Palm scan successful.
We live in the future or what? Now I want to mention that all of the biometric data and the codes that you set are stored locally on the lock, and they're encrypted. So they're doubly safe. Now that your lock is set up in the Wyze app, if you tap on that device from your device list, you're going to see the home screen for your lock. At the top, you're gonna see a circular lock button. Now, if you tap this, the lock will unlock from the app, and then all you have to do to lock it back up again is tap that lock again. Just below that, you're gonna see an events list. Yes, you can see every single time that the lock was locked and unlocked, and you can see who did it depending on what action they took. Like Kyle unlocked the lock by palm, and in the upper right-hand corner, you will see the battery life. Now, let's tap on the gear just above that to go over some of the settings for the Wyze Palm Lock. The very first item that you're going to see is access and sharing. Now, this is where you can see that you, the person that just set it up, are the admin, and then you can add shared users to this lock.
And you'll notice there are 2 different types of ways you can share the lock. The first is the Wyze account access. Now, if you select this one, this is an app level access that allows the shared user to create and manage their own palm scans and access codes from their own Wyze account.
If you choose lock access only, this is only physical access to the lock, and no Wyze app account is required. So for example, I probably want to add my wife as a shared user so that the lock will show up in her Wyze account, but I'll probably only want to do lock access only with my kids who don't have access to the Wyze app. Now, if you want to create a one-time access code for, say, a service worker or a babysitter, you can create that here, and you can set it to expire at a certain time. Next is device notifications. You can toggle them completely off if you want, or you can customize them to notify you when the door is locked, when the door is unlocked, or when the door is open. And then if the door is open for a certain amount of time, you can customize that notification as well. Next, you can customize the auto lock feature. When the auto lock setting is set to immediately, the lock will automatically lock as soon as the lock detects that the door is closed. Or you can set it to a delay, and you can customize the time of that delay. Next is lock after hours. Now, I really like this one because I have doors in my house where my kids are constantly going in and out, but I always like to know that the locks will automatically lock after a certain time, say like after 9 p.m. So the lock after hours option will allow you to set that time where no matter what happens with the lock during the day, it will automatically trigger to lock at that certain time every night. Next, you can customize the volume of the physical notifications that come from the lock. So you can customize the status and operation notifications. This is like the chime that sounds anytime that the lock unlocks. You can customize the volume for that. You can also set a different volume for the alarms, either the door ajar or the tampering alarms. Next is the third-party integration. Now, if you plan to use the Wyze Palm Lock with a voice assistant, this is where you would set that up. And remember, if you're going to use it with a voice assistant, the voice assistant will ask you for a 4-digit code before unlocking it. Otherwise, anybody could just roll up to your house and activate your smart assistant and then, unlock it. So that PIN is super important. Next is calibration. If you find that the door isn't quite recognizing when it's open or closed, or the lock is firing at different times when it shouldn't, if you need to recalibrate it for some reason, you can do that right here. Next is the failed entry lockout. Now, this is the feature that we discussed earlier. If somebody incorrectly authenticated up to 5 times, then the palm vein feature would be locked out for up to 5 minutes, and it would trigger an alarm. If you don't want that to happen, then simply toggle this off. Next is the smart battery saver mode. When set to auto, it will wake up the lock when you are 2 to 3 feet away. When it's in battery saving mode, it won't wake up the lock until you are 5 to 10 inches away. And if you want extreme battery saving mode, then it will only wake up the lock when you tap. And below that, you will have the familiar automations where you can customize your lock to work with other Wyze devices that you might have in your home, and the device info. Now, normally I would skip over the device info because this is where you would just check for firmware updates and all that stuff. But the Wyze Palm Lock has a feature that is a first for Wyze products. You can actually update the Wi-Fi settings without having to repair your device to the Wyze app. Now, this is huge, and if you understand what I'm talking about, I hope you enjoy this, because this one's for you. And finally, you have Wyze support. This is where you can submit a ticket if something isn't working right, or you can find more help guides by tapping on this link. And that's it. That's everything that you need to know about Wyze Palm Lock. This is a futuristic lock that makes you feel like you have a premium access management solution for your home. We're thrilled to be able to provide this at a price that's accessible to everyone. I can't wait to see just the glow up that every front door is gonna get once they get a Wyze Palm Lock on there. It's just the coolest looking futuristic piece of thing that you've ever seen in your whole life, am I right? We'll see you next time.